Welcome back, Pirate Crew. It's your captain, Yeehaw Yadam, and we're finally back with our second Locals vlog. I know it's been a bit since the first Locals vlog, and I want to attribute that mostly to Christmas, New Year, and end of the year shenanigans, right? Family and holidays. Really, you got to sit down and make time for those that are really special to you. But now that that's out of the way, it's time for some One Piece, time for some serious gaming. So today we're going to be going to a new Locals, one we've never been to before. It's actually very, very out of the way for us, but we're going to do it just to expand our horizons, play against newer players, play against different players, and really try to see if there's something that we're missing at our Locals, see if we can get new play styles, new decks, new ideas, and really try to get better and closer to the One Piece. So without further ado, let's go.
All right, Yeehaw crew. So the ride was so long that it's finally dark, and I have to have this really bright light, but it's pretty worth it. Looks like we have a solid tournament. It was supposed to be a capped 16-player tournament. We actually had 20 players for tonight, so I'm excited to see how it goes for today. Wish me luck. And we're here for the gameplay commentary, baby. So this week, for this video vlog, we decided to go ahead and bring Oden. So I'm going to showcase about 3 different matches. I didn't record all of them. It was a 4-rounder, and there's no way I'm doing four separate gameplay commentaries in one video because that's just way too much. So I'm going to go ahead and do the best 3 matches, and then the final round, which was I went ahead and recorded the top table. So going on the curve here, I go Momo into Raizo, playing against Doflamingo. This is a classic matchup of green into blue, and it's just going to end up becoming the classic green game plan. My game plan is the same, whether it be Oden, whether it be Eustass Kid, is that I'm going to go ahead and try to outvalue my opponent, take control of the board, and win through that. So my opponent goes and plays 3-drop Doflamingo. I go get it for the first quick attack. He goes for face. I also take the hit. I'm going to go ahead and tap 1, activate Momo's effect. Momo's going to go ahead and add me the Kinemon. I think this card is insane in combination with Okiku, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and tap. I'm going to go ahead and 5, draw a card off the Raizo. This is looking really good. And this is just showcasing really powerful cards off of Oden. I'm going to go 5 face. Just a very solid turn. And then playing a Veggie on top of that. Just look at that turn. Went ahead and drew 2 cards, removed his board, and then played a blocker to protect my board. Looking very solid. I have a Kinemon as well, so on my next turn's curve, so I'm on the 1-3-5. Now my next turn is 7. I go Kinemon, and I still have 1 Dawn available for Momonosuke if I so choose to. But my next turn is very much, is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and swing 7 at the Raizo, play the Teach off the top. It is what it is. This Veggie's coming down next turn, in conjunction with the Kinemon. I'm okay with that completely. And then that seems to pass his turn. That's the thing about Doflamingo. If you use his ability early, it's just, there's a lot going at it. There's a lot that comes into play with it. I go 5 at the Teach. He goes Spada. That's fine. Again, my Dawn is completely tied up this turn, and it's very obvious. He knows I have the Kinemon and the Veggie in hand. I have 7 Dawn. So my turn is just going to be play the Kinemon. Going to go ahead and develop this while I still can. Kinemon's going to go ahead and summon the Okiku for free because I am Oden. And then I either can leave 1 up, or I can choose to, to activate the Momo. I go ahead and use Oden's effect, pitch a bonus Okiku to go ahead and use the Momo, give 1 Dawn up, and then I still have 1 Dawn up, play the Veggie. It just lets me get a little bit further in my deck. I don't need all these Okikus in my hand. That's the thing about these very strong Wano cards. Even though they're very well statted, have amazing effects, they usually just don't have combo power. And I do have, I believe, 3 Okiku, so I kind of wanted I wanted to bait him into interacting with my Okiku, and I just summon another one later on. There's also something to be said. It's kind of interesting about Kinemon's interaction with Momo, and we might get to see that in this game. I'm going to go 7 at the Momo, play that. I go ahead and I let the Momo go down because I have another Momo in hand. There's no reason to lose my Veggie here, and my opponent's starting to get, he still has a ton of cards in hand, but now that he's starting to rest characters because of his Doflamingo's ability, the way that his leader just naturally plays, it goes and plays into my game plan. So it's going to go, he still has 1 Dawn available to him. And he goes on the Teach, and he goes Teach to face. Oh boy, I will take another draw. No worries. I'll draw for turn. And then now I'm at 9 Dawn. So with 9 Dawn, let's see what I go ahead and choose to do. I'll attach 2 into the Cat Viper. Cat Viper being a Wano country card that is less than 3 cost. Seems good to me. I'll attach 1 to Kinemon. I'll go Kinemon at base. It's just too much damage. I'll restand the Cat Viper. Cat Viper is going to go into the Flamingo blocker, which is going to proc probably a 2k. So he goes to double 1k. I'll put one on the leader. I'm like, all right, if you really want to save it, you better save it. And then he just can't afford to. And then I still have 5 Dawn available. With the 5 Dawn, I'll go ahead and play Trafalgar Law. Oof, man, I'm getting worse at pronouncing his name day by day. I'll add back the Cat Viper and then play down the Okiku, which makes the Okiku summon kind of free. I get all the tempo I wanted off of that turn. Seemed very, very clean for me. And I still now have an insane amount of pressure. Kinemon is super easy to defend, being that he's a 6k. I do have a 6k blocker, a 1k blocker, and now I have another Okiku that you have to deal with. I still have the Momonosuke in hand, so I can continue to dig. This would theoretically be the second Okiku. He's still unaware. No, this would be the third. Just kidding. So he bottom decked one, I pitched one, and then this is the third one. So I just had a handful of some of the best cards in my hand, no? So he's going to go 7 at the Kinemon. And that's just not enough, right? Because you don't want to overcommit into Flamingo because there's a 3 mana effect. But this is equally just a 2k. So I just pitch a 2k. I'll defend Kinemon with my life. That card is one of the best cards in my deck. Once I've had board control, right? And it's kind of easy to acquire that. And there's kind of some interesting things that you can do. So let's say he does bounce my Okiku, which is a very high possibility here. I can then summon a Momo, trigger Momo, put a Dawn under the Kinemon to restand the Momo, to then play the Momo again. And that's some other things that I could do that's kind of cute with him. But, you know, obviously I want to use it in conjunction with Okiku, and my opponent knows just how powerful that is, and is completely trying to keep me off of that. I understand. I don't think I ever, not that I ever resolved it, but it's very rare that I resolved the Kinemon Okiku. Everyone just completely just had the answers for it every time. But that combo is some of the strongest combo in the game. So I'll go 5 at the Gecko Moria. Again, just trying to pitch cards out of hand. I'll go ahead and play the Cat Viper. Cat Viper is going to go ahead and suspend. I'm going to pay 2 to use Momo's effect. Top 5 cards, and I will add just the 4th Okiku. And then here's that cool little interaction that I was talking about, potentially happening. So I'm deciding how much Dawn I want to put. I'll go 8. That's going to go ahead and unsuspend the Momo. I'm going to go tap another one, trigger Momo again. So I have Kinemon Okiku back in hand, so that if you ever dare deal with this, I can go ahead and fix it. And I'll go 7 here, and then I pass my turn. And again, just controlling the board as much as I can. I have a ton of cards in my hand, although a lot of them are non-combo powered cards. I have Kinemon and Okiku, so I have 3 cards in my hand that he is aware of. They just kind of really don't do anything. And even though my hand looks formidable, I have like 7 to 8 cards in hand. It's kind of fake. So he's going to go ahead and swing into it. I'm going to go ahead, and that was kind of a mistake. By leaving 2 Dawn up, I allowed my Punk Gibson to stay available. So I Punk Gibson to remove the Teach, and now the only way that he can punch over this Momo is by declaring his leader at it. And if he declares his leader, and you know, doesn't do anything crazy, I can just block it with the Veggie. So he goes and actually plays 7 for a Flamingo, and the Flamingo goes at and bounces my Veggie, which is just not enough. Then he goes for another 7 at my Kinemon, and then I'm going to defend Kinemon as much as I can. That card is insane. So again, I'm going to go 5. And you just see how like I'm playing very, give me cards in hand, or I'm taking your board, one or the other, right? So I'm going to go 5 with the Cat Viper, gives me a 2k, and then now I can go ahead and attach the Dawn to Kinemon. Kinemon's going to go ahead and 7. Will for sure kill that. Then I'll restand the Cat Viper. Cat Viper's going to go at the Teach, and now it's like, man, he has 2 in hand, no active Dawn, and I really just have complete control of the board. I'll go ahead and tap 2 for Bonnie, because now that the Wano countries have allowed me to gain the control I need in the game, I'm going to go ahead and get the final pieces of value that I need. So I think I saw double Eustass Kid, and unfortunately that was just too much, so I'll go ahead and get what I need from that. I think I double Bonnie here somehow. I double Bond. Weird. I'll go ahead and tap 3. I'll lose the Cat Viper to go ahead and play the Okiku, and I'll pass my turn. Ooh, boy. Oh, no, sorry. I Bonnie and then Momo. But yeah, I think I saw double Eustass Kid there, and because of that, I didn't really want to grab an A-drop kid. I wanted to win this game based off the Wano, and didn't want to win it the classic green-blue way. But unfortunately, if I see double Eustass Kid and I'm going to bottom deck it, I can just not grab it just in case I need a contingency plan for later. So he goes ahead and summons a Gecko Moria, which will add back the Teach. And man, this Okiku is never attacking, huh? So he goes ahead and bounces the Iku, swings 5 at the Bonnie. Now there's something to be said about blocking here with the law, and now he has to commit Doflamingo. And if you commit the Doflamingo, I can definitely do a couple of dirty things to it. And once I can remove that big threat off the board, it makes it so that my A drop is much easier to go ahead and take control of the game. Again, he has 2 cards. He has a Love Beam available. He's presenting it with the 2 Dawn. So as long as I play smart, there's nothing that I can truly fear. So I'll go ahead and A drop here. I'll use the A drops effect to play an Okiku. I will add a Dawn to the A drop, and I will pay 1 to play the Veggie that I've kept in hand for a century now, and I will pass my turn. So now it's looking like a very solid turn. And I'm thinking about if I want to attack here, and I finally decide, sure, I want to take a card from hand because this is now approaching the end of the game. Oden doesn't have that cute little thing that Kid does where Kid can go swing, restand, swing. So I kind of do need to apply some amount of pressure. I can't just kind of fill infinitely, right? Something also nice to be said that if I did have a Punk Gibson in hand, I could use Oden's effect here, pitch an Okiku, and then have 2 up for a Punk Gibson, and then it'd be almost impossible for him to clear me. But even as it stands, the A drop is just too powerful in a board state like this. He only has 1/7 on the board, and 1/7 just isn't enough, especially when I couple it with a couple blockers. If he overcommits into it, I block with Veggie. If he undercommits, I just combo from hand. And that's really the issue with the A drop, right? You can't go too high, you can't go too low. You have to go at the sweet spot, and my hand is looking super fake, by the way. I think I fanned it there a little, and I was able to see it, but it's just a bunch of like fake cards. Unfortunately, I have to pitch a Yamato here. Love this card, but unfortunately, it's not going to win me this match, and I don't think I ever need to summon it. He's going to go 9, see how so he goes 10 here at the Kid, and then Veggie just that block. Now I have just a billion Veggies in hand. And here's where it's going to go 9 at the Quixote, and that is going to proc Love Beam. Love Beam will push it all the way to 11. I go here, and I go 8 at it. 8's going to go ahead and rest the Gecko Moria. He 2Ks, and then I go 7. Show me the 1K restand the Okiku, and I'm just chucking along. So now I go 1 more 9 on the Okiku. And the big bad boy is gone. And what do I do here? I go 7 at the Moria. I go 7 here. Then yeah, because he only has 1 card in hand. As long as I play around a 2K, he just simply cannot combo out of it, right? So that's all I had to do. I had to whittle his hand down, and now I have full board control. I have the Kinemon Okiku that can finally do what Kinemon Okiku wants to do, as well as the A drop that's just going to go ahead and outvalue me. I finally said, yes, I got to activate his effect with Okiku. Yeah, that play is very, very good. He goes ahead and summons Perona. Perona's going to go ahead and look at the top 5. He has 2 life left and 1 card in hand, and these are the issues, right? I've just completely removed all resources from him. If I had Yamato on board here, it'd also be kind of crazy, because imagine that he has no hand, and then Yamato just swings for 7, right? Which is an unblockable number in his scenario. You know, I rest the Flamingo, and then I go 7 at face, and I just remove all your life without giving you power. It's insane. So again, Veggie makes it so difficult, because unless you have a way to remove the Veggie, you can't overcommit. So he leaves a couple Dawn up, which kind of like showcases to me that he might have another Love Beam. So I play this turn a little weird. So I go 7 again to play around the 2K, but not over into the beam. That's going to go ahead and swing over the Mihawk, restand, and then go face. I rest the only blocker in his hand. He takes the hit. I put 1 more. Does present and show me the Love Beam. I go 5 at face, shows me a 2K, and then I'm like, okay, 7, show me another 2K, and it's like, nope, and then everything on leader for game. And then the handshake of friendship. Then we're going to go into our next matchup. It's going to be purple into green. Now, some of the things I've been saying lately, green kind of struggles with purple sometimes. Everyone kind of struggles with purple when purple does purple things, right? When they purple in, it's kind of rough. But Oden specifically, because we just don't have the kill pressure unless we have the combo of Kinemon Okiku. Very early, we can't really apply the pressure necessary to finish the game off very, very quickly, and purple kind of gets to do whatever they want. So I'll go 5 at face here. I don't want to, again, overcommit. It really will most often let this happen, and I go Bonnie into killer. Nice little pass, right? So he's up to 4 done, and if he has the stage here, he will be staging. This ends up being a very troll and long game, so we'll see how, now that I'm rewatching it, what's going on. So he goes 7, which you love to see it. You love to see a purple player without stage. That's beautiful to me. I'll go ahead and look at the top 5 cards. It's going to go ahead and Bonnie search Bonnie. I I go ahead and I still have, you know, a bunch of Dawn active. I'll again use another Bonnie search. I have my killer active. It looks really, really good at this point in time. I'll go ahead and tap one. I'll place one. And yeah, I said, oh, whoopsie, I did all this entire play without, you know, attacking first. You know, you attack first mostly to play around a who's who. He chooses to block anyways, so the who's who wouldn't have happened no matter what. But my board is looking kind of stacked right now. As is double Bonnie with a draw card killer as well as a veggie. And I know he's not going to 7 next turn, right? He's on the evens, the 2, 4, 6, and there's just no feasible way that he can do that. So, but I'll get a draw here anyways because I'm playing around the 6-drop king. Because if the 6-drop king comes down, he's just going to pop my killer anyways. I just have to get value as much as I can. I'm playing around cards that he doesn't have, but I'm trying to play him in the best way that I can. So now I'm on the, I believe, 7. Yeah, so on 7, I do have the Kinemon Okiku. So I'm going to just simply Kinemon Okiku. It's just too good. I'm going to go ahead and activate Oden's effect, pitch a bonus Okiku, tap a Bonnie, and my goodness, we turned this this card into literally infinite value. So we'll leave up 2 for a Punk Gibson. And we'll go ahead and swing face with our leader. He should block this every day of the week. There's no feasible way that I can attack into the queen. But if he wants to take this life, is basically what I'm saying. I'm going to take you. If you want to get an extra draw, take the draw. But you're going to have to burn 20% of your life. And that offers the draw for 20%. So then he's going to go ahead and go to 8. Right? Oh no, he -1, so he's going to go to 7. We're actually at equivalent Dawn because of the queen. There we go. So, and he went ahead and pitched the 10-drop, which is, that let me play a little more weird. When he pitched that 10-drop, I'm like, oh boy, I can go as wide as I want and force him to use it. He goes 5 into Bonnie. I'm not going to go ahead and lose any of my blockers here. I could have Punk Gibson and then paid a card, but that just seemed too heavy of a cost. And then he's going to go ahead and pay the 7. The 7's going to go ahead and, yeah, that card is really good. It's almost as good as the 10-drop in some scenarios, but it's going to put him back to 7, right? He doesn't have the stage to really pay for it. So he's going to go ahead and do that. But he has a very formidable board. The 5 into the 7 is very, very good. And even though I've had a great hand, I might see a little bit of a struggle because of that. So I go ahead and pay 1 for the Bonnie. And then again, I'm going to have to summon one of the better cards of my deck, which is the 7-drop. 7-drop. I'm still thinking. I think I have to summon the 7-drop into this board, right? I have to show him who's boss. I'm gonna go tap another Dawn. Curious what we're tapping. Well, that's the Dawn for Bonnie. I'll go 5 at lead before I summon anything. Then that'll prompt either his block or combo from hand. Really depends. But that's the thing about purple. You kind of want to apply pressure to them, but as you're applying pressure, you're giving them cards, and these cards are being used to defend their very strong creatures. Because now he has a 6, a 7, and his leader there. He goes ahead and blocks with the ulti. Which is great for me, you know, but again, the idea with purple is that you want to hit them for base damage because they do just have so many 2Ks. And then I do take this time to play the 7. Had he blocked, might have been a little different. I could have swung the Kinemon in, developed veggies, and done different things to try and get around his board. But since he went ahead and comboed out of it, I decided, fine, I'll go ahead and play my 7 to counteract your big guys. My 7 can now, every single turn, go in sideways, right? But now he's stuck at 7 while I'm at 10. If it continues to minus Dawn here, he's just going to keep seeing pain. It goes into the Bonnie. I don't want to commit Dawn, right? Because if I go ahead and I commit my block to it, then he can turn his 7 into my 7, and then I have to pitch hand. But I still have another Bonnie. There is something to be said about blocking it or using Oden's effect to gain 2 Dawn at the end of my turn, and then having Punk Gibson available. But I just didn't want to go ahead and do any of those things. It's really tough. I also had a Law in hand, which I could have lawed, but he finally finds the stage. And now it's going to get a little dicey here, right? Because he's at 7, he's going to go to 8, now he's going to go to 9, 10, right? But there's no universe where he's going to decide to drop the 10-drop on me while he has this board state. So I'm feeling pretty good. He has 1 Dawn up, which is going to present the Blast Breath. If I can trigger his Blast Breath here, that would be fantastic. But with just a 2K here, I don't think I can, right? This is just going to prompt a 2K out of his hand. Let's see, man, his hand is looking heavy. While we were playing, I just thought to myself, man, he has so much combo power, but I'm looking at his hand now and it just looks like a bunch of bricks. So I go 7. Again, I'm gonna force him to over combo. So yeah, goes in over combos. I go ahead and I still have a 7 Dawn available. I'm thinking about how I want to go ahead and spend it. I'll go 7 at it. And that's the thing. Eventually, you'll have no cards in hand, and then that's when green takes control. That's what I like to see about green. Once the cards are rested, I'm going to go for your cards. I'm going to go for the board control, and then once I whittle you out of resources, and I've got all the resources, then we're truly gaming. I'll go ahead and Bonnie here. Play Bonnie for 5. I'll go ahead and add a Law card to my hand. I could then do a couple of separate things. I'm going to go ahead and pitch a bonus Kinemon to gain 2 Dawn, and then pay 5 to bounce the Bonnie and play probably an Okiku or a Veggie. Man, I didn't see Okiku this game. How sad. And then at the end of my turn, the 7-drop Kid is going to go ahead and go into active mode. Really, really solid. That card by itself kind of solos the purple matchup, so that's why I decided to add it very early. I knew that I'm playing against purple, Bonnie Search, and I saw the 7-drop, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah, buddy. That's my game plan. That's plan A. So he is at 9 Dawn right now. 9 Dawn is good, but it's not good enough to deal with this board, right? This is definitely a board that now you might want to 10-drop into. But he goes in 9 drops, and 9 drop isn't bad by any means. 9 drop is going to go ahead and blast the Law out of the game. He's going to only need to go up just a little bit more, and now he doesn't need the there's no way he can ever 10 drop a board like this. He has to go ahead and try to apply the pressure in different ways. So I defend this, and then I just block with a Veggie. Again, baiting him to use his cards and rest them so that I can get value off of his cards. And then he's going to go 5 at face. And then I kind of need cards to sustain the board save, but I just keep drawing cards that have no counter. Very, very dangerous. Now we're back to my turn, and I am dealing with a very big board. So this is kind of scary. So, right, like I can attack him for exacties right now on the Kaido. And basically say you have to have exactly a 1k counter, which looking at his hand as he's shuffling, funnily enough, he does have it, but he only has 1. So if I go 2 10s on him, he's kind of screwed. So I'll go ahead and go 9 at the king, and I believe his king goes here. There's no way his hand blocks that. He's thinking, looking at his hand. Yeah, and he'll take the queen block instead. So if he took the queen block there, that means that if I just do the exact same thing, he should theoretically lose the king. So I'll go 6, 7, 8 at the king. So again, show me a 2k. But like I put him on having a bunch of bricks in hand after he made that block. So now that he has I believe he has a bunch of bricks, I just go 1 higher so that I don't force a 1k, I force a 2k, which he doesn't have, and boom. Now we've lost the king as well. So we've lost king and queen. All right, we have a little bit of breathing room, but that just means that the following turns, he's going to have a bunch of combo to defend this Ido. So very, very scary. So I kind of make a little mistake here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Dawn available, right? So based off of that same concept, right? Like looking at this game, this is what's really good about rewatching your games. There's something juicy. I'm gonna pause this here. There's something juicy about you go Bonnie, you go Law, you develop a Veggie, you do all this cool little shambles, and you're like aiming and you're developing. But truly, if I just have killed that Kaido, right? If I put him on not having a 2k there. And he basically said, I don't have a 2k when that Kinemon swung at the king. I had 6 Dawn available, and I had Oden. So Oden I put up 6 on Oden, made him 11, and then Oden on into the Kaido, and he would have lost the 10k as well. And then even though now that he has lost a bunch of Dawn using this Kaido effect, and now he's lost all pressure, there's no feasible way with my board that is a Kinemon plus 7-drop that he can come back to the board state. And that's kind of interesting that I had that opportunity. I just didn't seize it there. And that's something that like you get kind of caught up in looking at other things. But maybe, I would have also there's also something to be said about had I committed to that play and it failed, it would have been catastrophic for me. So I went for a little bit of a safer play, developing a couple cards. I go Bonnie, bounce, play Veggie, and then replay the Bonnie. I know that I can't get 10 drop because he minused off of the Kaido. So I'm in another board state where I can go ahead and go wide and then chill for a little bit. I do have to use my chump blockers to kind of like mitigate the damage that's coming my way. Certainly. So I am 2 to his 3 life. He goes 7. I go 2k because he goes at the Kinemon. The Kinemon he's not doing great, but he's a 6k. He's literally a pacifista right now. How crazy is that? He is a 4 cost pacifista. He goes and tens me. I go ahead and block with the Veggie, and then Let's see where he goes from here. But if he leaves any active Dawn available now this turn, there is no way that I can kill this Kaido. See what I'm saying? Like last turn, had I killed it, I'd be in a much more comfortable, position. He really wouldn't have any big threats on the board. But now I certainly can't kill that Kaido, and now I have to whittle. I can't even whittle his hand because I have to go for his life here to kind of apply some pressure because I'm at 1 life against Kaido deck, and that's kind of troll. He went ahead and -7 though to burn that life, and that just gives me a lot more time. So I go and I do exactly's on 10 here. Show me a 1k or show me a blast breath or show me something. Like I put him on his hand being really weird. So again, last turn I had the opportunity to kill this. This turn I don't know why I'm doing this per se, but it's just interesting. That also I guess I get to play like this mostly because he burned. The fact that he burned me, he's going down to 4 Dawn, makes it so that I can play a little bizarre. So I go ahead and I 2k. I swing here with 7. Again, show me a 2k or show me an event spell, as you please. I'm kind of baiting him to go Bagua to go up to 5. So sure, he go Bagua there. It comes in rested. That's absolutely fine. I still have a 5 Dawn available, and I go ahead and I pass it on. on 4 Dawn, and I pass it to him. I have a Punk Gibson in hand. I'm presenting double Punk Gibson. So we're chilling here. He goes 10 at face. I'll go ahead and Punk Gibson and rest this card. And it's kind of weird that I did that because I could have Punk Gibson blocked with my 7 and then not had to pitch an extra card and have a killer available, and then he can't feasibly get over my my kid because he'd have to commit at like so much more Dawn, and then I can just block with Law if I really wanted to. So again, just weird plays in general. I think he swung at the Kinemon here, and I just didn't want to go ahead and do that, but I could have done something differently. He goes a 7 here. I still have another Punk, and I choose to activate it. I'm playing very stinky right now, but he plays it very well, playing around the Punk and not summoning the Black Maria before that. So, again, I'm having trouble closing out this game, even though I have all this board pressure and whatnot. I really am struggling to finish off this game, and my hand is not looking great. I have 4 cards in hand. 2 of them are Izos, and the other 2 are the A-Drop Kid. So I'm using a 2k counter here, and not in a way that I want to, and then I'll go 5 at the ulti. I'm just going to try to remove the board as much as I can. I'll go 6 at the Maria, and then I'm going to have to use Bonnie's effect. Again, by presenting 1, he's showing Blast Breath, and Blast Breath there's no way I can kill this Kaido unless I commit like legitimately my whole turn to it. And there is something to be said about doing that. I have done that in the limited battle series many times, so I don't know. This is one of like the earlier games of the day, and I was still kind of waking up, but yeah, certainly not my finest work. So he's going to 7 next turn, which if he has the king is really gonna suck. And I'll go ahead and I'll remove the Izo to play the killer, and I'll add the Dawn to it. I'll keep 2 Dawn up, and I have like 3 cards in hand. I have 2 A-drops and an Izo, as well as a killer on the board. So I'm gonna have to use these next couple of turns to aggressively push as much as I can, not committing. So he goes 10. I'm not sure if it's 10 to the face or where that 10 is going, but I go ahead and I block with this killer. That guy's getting certainly blocked no matter what. And I'll draw a bonus card. Drawing me another Izu. So bizarre. So he's gonna go ahead and swing at me for 9 at the Kinemon, and Kinemon finally goes. It's time. It's his moment. He's gone. So he's doing a little bit of thinking here, and he taps the Oni. Oni's gonna put him up to 8 cards. And then he's doing a little bit of thinking here. He really is thinking of burning me here, and that is bizarre. Again, this was a very bizarre game in general, and this is just interesting. Not our finest work to either of us. He goes and burns a killer. I draw another Izo, just drawing Izos for fun. But he has 1 up, right? Which is unfortunate because 1 up presents me not being able to lethal him. I'll go 5. But I want him to use 2Ks. Yep, and there goes a 2K. And now I just commit into the 9s, and then I should be good. But I do have a Law in hand. I do have Bonnie, so I'm going to Bonnie. Bonnie, get me out of this nightmare that I've gotten myself into, please. I'll attach one into the Captain Kid. It's going to go and go 8 face, which is a Blast Breath. Now he's going to 2. I can go ahead and summon another 7-drop here because there's no universe this game ever goes to 10. Now I have 2 7s into a basically final turn. Kill me now or forever hold your peace, right? And with the board that I have and the cards in my hand, I don't think that's very feasible. Over the next couple turns, I'm just going to go ahead and use my A-drop to finish off this game, right? So I will... he goes 10 at face, 10 at face. I'm like, all right, 10 at face. My law goes. I can't sustain this law anymore. And he just goes for, he goes 7 at face. I go block with that. He goes Oni. And now that he has no more active Dawn, it's just a matter of counting cards. And then he has 3 in hand. I have 2 7s on the board. And then with just this amount, there's no feasible way that he can win this game. So I'll go ahead and tap 1 for Bonnie. But before we even use our Dawn, let's go ahead and make sure that we do everything as efficiently as possible. We'll go ahead and 8. That is show me double 2K. And I do not believe he has double 2K at this point in time of the game. So he's going to go ahead and I still have 6 Dawn available. It's going to be 8, 10, 10. Well, actually, just kidding. It's going to be 8, 9, and then 11. Oh, there's no way he... Now with 9, and he didn't have the double 2K, and then I just can place everything on him. I'll play a veggie first. I'll trigger Bonnie's effect by pitching Yamato, and then I'll go ahead and give him the bonus Dawn, right? So playing as safely as I possibly could. I want to take a pause before going to game 3. That game could have been played a lot better. On my side, on my opponent's side, there's something to be learned about that game. So when you look back at your games and you just saw how frustrating it was, there's many times where you look at it and you think you played really, really well. And that game I definitely did not play to my utmost capabilities. But we were still able to edge out just because we had multiple 7s and just, you know, our deck was just good. We were just green. And then finally for our last game, this is actually our first game of the night. It was, this guy ended up going all the way and going to first place. He was my only loss of the night. Spoiler. But this matchup I thought was pretty solid and could have really gone either way just by a couple of few cards. So I do think Eustass just in general is better than Oden, unfortunately. But we'll try our best to see if we can keep up with the captain, huh? So we'll take our draw. I think we already mullied. He goes Bonnie. Dang it. Bonnie's a good start. So I'll go Veggie now. Veggie's also a great start because Veggie kind of threatens the fact that if I develop my own Bonnie or my Momo, he can't just Cat Viper and swing over. He can't Ezo and swing over. So I have Veggie to defend. And I do kind of sometimes believe that the Veggie Okiku Law is much, much better, or the Hawkins, right, is much, much better than just simply that. So he goes Izu at my Veggie, which I'm pretty okay with. And I think off of that, I will just clear his Bonnie. So I'll Cat Viper the Bonnie, and then I'll 7 the Bonnie, and she's done. Yeah, there's no way you're ever defending. And I wasn't going to really use my Dawn anyways. So again, keeping all my stuff unrested, which forces him to attack my face. And then he develops the card, and I'm going to pause here. Literally, I hate this card. I think in the green matchup, whoever's able to deploy a Hawkins first is in such a winning position. I did play another Eustass Captain Kid player in the end of the tournament, and I was able to win because I curved out my Hawkins on him. And it makes the matchup so uncomfortable. If I'm ever able to clear this Hawkins, then that's my win condition, but I can very rarely play into this card. So let's go on from here. But seeing that on curve was disgusting. But what can you do, right? So now we're all the way up to 6 Dawn, and I'm going to go ahead and 5. He decides to rest my Cat Viper, sure. And then we'll just use the strongest turn that our deck can muster, Kinemon. Honestly, Kinemon is awesome. Like, I really do like that card in Oden. He's one of the reasons to play Oden. And playing Kinemon and summoning a Raizo off of it is really, really nice. But it is not as nice as Basil Hawkins, personally. It is what it is. So, that Punk Gibson, I'm really okay with it hitting that Cat Viper. That's one of the strongest effects in life that exists in the game. And the fact that it triggered on a card that I really don't care about is awesome. But he goes ahead and swings over the Viper. I'm not going to defend this. He goes at life. I'll take the draw. And there's no universe where he swings in with the Hawkins. And my hand's looking a little bit better. You know, we're getting there each and every day. We have 8 Dawn available to us on the following turn. He goes double Killer Veggie. And that's a lot of blockers, son. So I'm going to 8 Dawn next turn. I do have Oden's effect available. I could summon the 8 drop here, and then, you know, if I had maybe a blocker of some sort, I can then go ahead and activate Oden's effect, attach into the 8 drop, and, you know, get Raizo's effect. I can do a lot of really cool things, but I don't think that committing, like, all of that is super possible versus other decks, but just not into Hawkins, which is so unfortunate. So I will go ahead and summon the X-Drake. X-Drake is going to go ahead and take care of the Izu while also summoning a 6, and then I will go ahead and pay 1 for Bonnie, keeping 2 up for a Punk Gibson, and passing my turn. So I did let him get a draw there off of the killer, and honestly, we're not in a terrible spot. Imagine we had Okiko here, bro. If I had Okiko, that's the out to Hawkins, man. I literally had to Kinemon Okiku into his, like, that would have been my 6 to his 5, then we'd be gaming. But unfortunately, you know, we were not that good. So he goes and plays Yamato, which is, that stunned me. I was like, whoa, people play this card? But it actually proved to be pretty nice here. It is a 5k non-counter power Wano card that was able to tap my Bonnie and activate his Hawkins, right? So if he wanted to swing his Hawkins in and go around, and he could. It's not terrible. Don't hate it. I go ahead and I play Punk Gibson here, and I'll pitch another card to go ahead and, you know, suspend his blocker, so that if he does want to commit into my Bonnie, yes, I commit a card, but he'll go Hawkins unsuspend. That wraps up one more Dawn and removes a blocker from his board, and then he'll just shambles the Yamato and replay it. But now he's out of Dawn. It's really interesting. Not a bad turn from my opponent. I wasn't expecting the Law, and I really kind of played into it. But now this Yamato is consistently activating is Hawkins, and that is actually a pretty cute combo. If you do that combo behind an 8 drop, okay, I see you. I see what you're doing here. Very, very cute. Doesn't have to commit a card from hand to consistently just keep suspending things. And I was like, damn, that's kind of scary, yo. So we'll find out how we're gonna go. I'll go Oden into his killer. He has 2 cards in hand, but his board is just FD. And I gotta see what I do with this turn. I gotta somehow summon this Okiku, man. I gotta get her onto the board. I gotta get her activated. But the thing is, this Yamato is preventing me from summoning Okiku, so it's really, really tough. And thinking about how I want to go ahead and do this, so I'll go and I'll play. I go back and think, yeah, and I'm like, man, this Yamato is actually presenting to be such a problem. Because imagine I can go, Killer, play the Dawn into the Killer, then go ahead and play the Okiku. But I still can't support it, so I'll go X-Drake into the Yamato. He's also a 5. It's also a 5k. So big. So he has 1 card in hand. I'll go Raizo, draw a card. And now this is unfortunate, but I'm just committing my board into his, which is not something great. But, you know, sometimes it just be how it be. And he's thinking about what he wants to do. He has 1 card in hand. I don't want to, again, overcommit. Like, I want him to pitch that final card. But he lets the Yamato go. So that final card is probably some sort of Brickaroni. And then I still have a 6 Dawn available. With that 6 Dawn, I could effectively do a couple things here. So I think that what I choose to do is I think I have a Law in hand. Yeah. I think the best thing I can do is Law, add back the Raizo, and then play, add back the Izu, and then play the Okiku 3/4. So I'll play the 5, and I'll add the Raizo back. I decided to keep the Izu on the board, which is fine too, and then go Okiku. Make my cards as unrested as possible, and now I kind of have a good position. As long as he doesn't have an answer to this Okiku, we're doing pretty good right now. I finally have the Kinemon Okiku combo on the board that could theoretically out the Hawkins, which is really, really nice. So he's going to go ahead and go 8. I have to just let this X-Drake go. I cannot sustain comboing that X-Drake. He goes 6 at face. Dude, I'll take this every day of the week. Oh my god, I was so close to being out of cards in hand, so he just gives me a bonus draw. Thank you. And thinking here, this was unprecedented. When he does another 8 with this, I'll be like, sure. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't want to take this hit, but I do like where this has put me, right? And then he'll go ahead and he plays the 7 drop. But now I can theoretically use my Okiku to swing at the Hawkins to suspend the Beji. I should have suspended the Beji, right? Because then the Law would have to be the one to choose to block if it wants to block. But I don't want to overcommit and I don't want to undercommit, right? So I'm going to attack with 7s, because if I attack with 7s, then, you know, I'll go here. Again, 7. Kinemon's going to unrest the Okiku. And that combo is just Juicy, eh? And now we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty clean. Looking nice. So we've attached 3 Dawn already. So we have that A drop in our hand that is just not coming down this turn. It's not happening. So then I'll go Okiku onto this. And oh boy, are we able to probably come back? And the issue is, maybe. But the problem is also the fact that we're down to 1 life to kids 4. We have to start developing cards. So I go ahead and I play a 7 here. And this is mistake number 1. As you can see, I have a Basil Hawkins in hand. And I decide not to play. Instead of playing this 7 drop, I could have gone ahead and played a Hawkins for 5. I still have 2 Dawn up. I can then use Oden's effect to pitch the Raizo to gain 2 to go Killer, and then paste a Dawn under the Killer, and then pass my turn. And now my board ends up being, you know, I remove the Izu for the Killer, but then it's Okiku, Kinemon, Basil Hawkins, Killer, and Law. And at that board state, and then I'll be able to then get to my next turn, which then Bonnie will summon. So like if he attacks, I'll Killer, block, draw a card, draw again for turn, then play Bonnie, get to the A drop, and then A drop him, and then from that board state, he cannot possibly win. But I go ahead and I make this mistake here. Yeah, I go 7 drop, and then I go ahead and I play the Killer and I pass, which isn't terrible, but Hawkins, I just didn't denote how absolutely powerful Hawkins is in the board state. And that's a mistake. That mistake is going to cost me this game, right? Because I had the opportunity to create a board state that is just unwinnable for my opponent, I think. And then I have lost it. But again, Hawkins isn't that good into the 7 drop, so I guess that was my personal reason. I'm like, the 7 drop in specific just does not allow me to, you know, to activate my Hawkins, and I don't have any other I mean, I have Okiku Hawkins, which is like broken, but it's just the 7 drop plays around that very, very well. So I guess that was my other reasoning. I needed a 7 to contest this 7 to be able to defend easier. So it goes back to my opponent's turn. My opponent's hand is looking kind of stinky. He has the 3 drop Killer, and a mysterious card in hand, and then he has the problem is now he's Eustass Kid with a 7 drop in hand that each turn can super omega punish me, and I do have to go through 4 lives. That's kind of like where the issue is, right? We have the board, but do we have the time? And there is something to be said about possibly if we can defend this turn that we can then push on the following. So he goes and does, I believe, 9 at my Kinemon. And I kind of want to defend him, right? So I'll block with my Killer. I don't have the combo power to defend him in my hand at this moment. I have that A drop. And if I can get behind this A drop, that would also be really, really nice. But A drop into the Eustass Kid is not great because then he can just leader push through everything. He'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the Kinemon. And then I was thinking he was leaving that 3 Dawn up to use his leader's effect. And then, yup, I get absolutely clapped here by the 3 drop Killer. Wasn't expecting that to come down at all. And now my board that was looking once so beautiful is not. So let's see where we go from here. I do have another Okiku. I'll go ahead and tap 2 for Bonnie. And Bonnie is able to see Killer. I'll attach a Dawn here. Okay, I'll go ahead and 8. I don't want to do too much damage to his face here because I don't want to give him too many cards. And then if I trigger into another Punk Gibson, then I'm really in a bad spot. So I don't really want to do that. I've used 3 Dawn, so I'm at 7 Dawn left. I'll attach 2 to my Oden. He eats this as well because, again, I have to swing at 7. He gets another Killer off of life, but this card's kind of irrelevant. Don't really think it matters too much if he does or does not get that. I'll go 2 for the Killer. He's down to 2 life. Attach 1. And then I'll pass, keeping 2 up for the potential. If I hit a Punk Gibson in life or something, then I can go ahead and still activate it. But I'm not sure if that's exactly correct, because had I did hit the Punk Gibson in life, I would have just, you know, activated it. So he'll go ahead and summon Nekomamushi. Nekomashi's going to stop the Killer, and then he's going to go ahead and use his Killer. Still has a bunch of Dawn available. He has 8 total Dawn. Cookies. I'm going to go 9 at my face, and I go ahead and I take it. Nothing I can do to that. And then if he just goes ahead and attaches 3 to his Eustass, and he goes 3-3, you know, 8-8, is what it is, huh? Yeah, I don't think I can combo out of it. My hand is completely no counter. No counter in hand. So he just goes and does everything, which I don't think is necessarily right because I just have a blocker. But the fact that I'm Oden and, so you can make this play into Oden because he is sitting behind a blocker. So I'll go ahead and just block and pass. If I can go ahead and do anything, I'll go all the way to 10. I have Momo in hand. Yeah, this one got away from me. There was like one turn where my board looked really good and I looked like I could have had the game, and then I just made a mistake in playing the 7 into his 7. Really just didn't have to. But my hand didn't look great, so I'll go 5. He'll pitch a 1K. I'll go 8. Eustass gonna drop Momo. Momo's gonna go ahead and for the top 5. It's gonna grab. I wish I could add Punk Gibson, but I'll add a Neko Mamushi. And then I'll trigger its effect to pitch the Okiku to gain 2, place 1 there, and then I'd have Punk Gibson available. So that'd be the cute play that I really wanted to happen. Unfortunately, I have it right. And even if I did have the Punk Gibson right, I don't think I can still protect this captain. So again, attach everything, and he's going to go 12, unsuspend 12, and that is the game. Congratulations to my opponent. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right here. This is the deck list that I was able to play. I ended up going and getting top 4. I think after standings, I was 3rd place because I had lost this gentleman in the last match, the guy who lost to him last second. I ended up at 3rd. And this was my list for Oden. And I think, personally, it was pretty solid. I did not dislike it. But everyone that saw the list was basically just saying, like, it's Oden. I mean, it's Kid, just reskinned, right? But that's kind of what Oden is. All of green decks kind of want to do the similar things. There's a lot of really strong green cards that we have available. And Oden gets to utilize almost all of the Wano cards at max capacity. The worst card in my deck all day was that X-Drake. There, that 5-drop X-Drake, wherever he's at. That was the worst card in my deck, hands down. If I can make any changes to my deck, it's completely drop the X-Drake. It did feel like 3 Law was just fine. The 2 Hawkins were fine, but there's something to be said about going up on the Yamato and then possibly up another Raizo. Raizo was excellent all day, but the rest of the cards in the deck feel pretty solid. I could probably drop an 8 drop and drop the 2 X-Drakes, go up a Raizo, go up a Yamato, and then go up a Hawkins. And then on that, I think it would feel just a little bit better. But with that, we were able to get 3rd place. It was 6 packs. It was a 20-player tournament. I think I did excellent for what it was. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this little journey that I took you on this locals vlog. It's been a bit since we get a locals vlog, so I hope that you guys really did like it. With that being said, if you guys liked the video, leave a like down below. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, go into the comment sections, talk to me. I know that there was a lot of content that we can talk about in this video. If there's a moment in time throughout this video where you think, oh, this could have been done better, this could have been done worse, go ahead and let me know. And as always, if you have not joined the Pirate Crew just yet and you're liking the content that I'm providing, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. As always, guys, I will see you on the next one. Peace. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better